Chapter 1. The Pact. Lucian and Selena had been best friends for centuries. As two of the most powerful vampires in the city, they had seen it all: the rise and fall of empires, the evolution of human society, and countless romantic entanglements. But lately, they had grown bored with their immortal existence. There has to be more to this life than endless nights of hunting and feeding, Lucian lamented one evening as they sat in their lavish penthouse. We've tasted every pleasure the world has to offer, yet something is still missing. Selena nodded in agreement. I feel it too. The thrill is gone. We need a new challenge, something to make this monotonous existence exciting again. After much discussion, the two vampires hatched a plan. They would venture out into the human world and try their hand at something they had never experienced before: speed dating. The idea was to mingle with mortals, flirt, and charm them, all without revealing their true vampire nature. Can you imagine their reactions when they realize they've been wooed by creatures of the night? Lucian chuckled, his fangs glinting in the moonlight. It will be the ultimate test of our seductive powers. Selena grinned wickedly. And if we happen to find a human we actually connect with, well, that would make things all the more interesting, wouldn't it? With a firm handshake, the pact was sealed. Lucian and Selena were about to embark on the most thrilling adventure of their immortal lives. Chapter 2. The Speed Dating Disaster. The night of the speed dating event arrived, and Lucian and Selena found themselves surrounded by a sea of eager, unsuspecting humans. Donning their most charming smiles and alluring personas, they set out to work their vampire magic. Lucian approached a petite brunette, his piercing gaze locking onto her hazel eyes. Good evening, my dear. I couldn't help but notice you from across the room. Tell me, what brings a lovely creature like yourself to a place like this? The woman blushed furiously, captivated by Lucian's smooth, velvety voice. I'm just looking for someone special, I suppose, she stammered. Selena, meanwhile, had set her sights on a tall, rugged-looking man with a chiseled jawline. Well, hello there, she purred, leaning in close enough for him to catch a whiff of her intoxicating scent. I couldn't help but notice you from across the room. What's a handsome fellow like you doing in a place like this? The man's eyes widened, and he swallowed hard, clearly flustered by Selena's bold advances. I'm just, trying to meet someone, he managed to get out. As the evening progressed, Lucian and Selena continued to dazzle their unsuspecting dates, their vampire charm working its magic with effortless precision. But just as they were about to make their grand exit, triumph written all over their faces, disaster struck. A sudden commotion erupted near the entrance, and the two vampires turned to see a group of their fellow immortal brethren storming into the venue, fangs bared and eyes glowing with bloodlust. Apparently, word had gotten out about their little speed dating experiment, and the other vampires were not amused. Traitors, one of them hissed, his gaze fixed on Lucian and Selena. You dare to consort with these pathetic humans? Panic erupted in the room as the humans realized they were in the presence of real-life vampires. Screams filled the air, and the speed daters scattered in all directions, desperate to escape the supernatural onslaught. Lucian and Selena exchanged a worried glance. Their little experiment had gone horribly, horribly wrong. Chapter 3. Unexpected Reactions. In the chaos that followed, Lucian and Selena found themselves cornered by the enraged vampires, their backs against the wall. They braced themselves for the inevitable confrontation, fully expecting to be punished for their transgressions. But to their utter surprise, the humans they had been trying to seduce just moments ago suddenly stepped forward, shielding the two vampires with their own bodies. Leave them alone, a woman's voice rang out, and Lucian recognized her as the petite brunette he had been chatting with. There are dates, and we won't let you hurt them, a burly man shouted, positioning himself in front of Selena. The vampires, taken aback by this unexpected display of loyalty, hesitated, their bloodlust momentarily tempered by confusion. Lucian and Selena stared at their human protectors, their immortal hearts swelling with a strange emotion they had not felt in centuries: gratitude. "Why?" Lucian asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Why would you risk your lives for us?" The brunette woman smiled softly. "Because we see you, not just as vampires, but as individuals. And we've come to care for you in our own way." Selena's eyes widened, and she felt a lump forming in her throat. "But we're monsters," she protested weakly. "Creatures of the night, destined to walk the earth forever, feeding on the blood of the living." "Maybe," the burly man replied, "but you're also the ones who made us feel alive, if only for a little while. And that's worth protecting." Lucian and Selena exchanged a long, meaningful look, their previous bravado and arrogance replaced by a newfound sense of humility and wonder. Perhaps their speed dating experiment had yielded more than just a few thrilling encounters. It had also given them a glimpse into the depths of the human heart, a revelation that would forever change the course of their immortal existence. Chapter 4: The Unexpected Bond. As the dust settled, Lucian and Selena found themselves surrounded by their human protectors, who had risked their lives to defend them against the other vampires. The two immortals were taken aback by the depth of emotion they felt towards these mortals, who had shown them a side of humanity they had never experienced before. Over the next few weeks, Lucian and Selena continued to spend time with their human friends, learning more about their lives, their struggles, and their passions. They discovered that they had more in common with these mortals than they ever could have imagined, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, as they sat together in a cozy coffee shop, Lucian turned to Selena with a serious expression. "I never thought I'd say this, but I think I've fallen for one of them," he confessed, his eyes locked on the brunette woman who had shielded him from the other vampires. Selena's gaze followed his, and she smiled softly. "I feel the same way about the burly man," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. The two vampires exchanged a look of understanding, and without another word, they knew that their immortal lives were about to take a dramatic turn. Chapter 5: The Consequences. As Lucian and Selena's relationships with their human friends deepened, they faced the daunting task of navigating the complexities of immortal life. They knew that their love for these mortals would ultimately lead to heartbreak, but they couldn't help the way they felt. The other vampires, still seething with resentment towards Lucian and Selena, began to plot their downfall. They saw the two as traitors, and they would stop at nothing to punish them for their transgressions. One fateful night, the vampires launched a surprise attack on Lucian and Selena, determined to put an end to their relationships with the humans once and for all. But the two immortals were prepared, and with the help of their human friends, they fought back against their attackers. In the end, it was Lucian who faced off against the leader of the vampires, a powerful and ruthless immortal named Valois. The two engaged in a fierce battle, their fangs bared and their eyes blazing with fury. But just as it seemed that Lucian was about to emerge victorious, Valois unleashed a devastating blow, striking Lucian with a blast of supernatural energy that sent him crashing to the ground. Chapter 6: The Sacrifice. As Lucian lay helpless, Selena rushed to his side, her heart racing with fear. She knew that she had to act fast if she was going to save him. With a fierce determination, Selena confronted Valois, her eyes blazing with a fierce light. "You may have power," she spat, "but you will never have love. And that is something no vampire can ever take away." Valois sneered at her, but Selena was undeterred. With a swift and deadly strike, she ended his immortal life, sacrificing herself in the process. Lucian, still reeling from the attack, watched in horror as Selena fell to the ground, her body limp and lifeless. He knew that he had to act fast if he was going to save her, and with a surge of adrenaline, he reached out and touched her forehead. A warm, golden light enveloped Selena's body, and slowly but surely, she began to stir. Lucian held her close, his heart overflowing with gratitude and love. Chapter 7: The New Beginning. As the sun began to rise, Lucian and Selena found themselves standing together, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that their love would never be easy, but they were determined to make it work. Together, they vowed to use their immortal powers to protect and defend their human friends, to fight against the forces of darkness that threatened to destroy them. And as they walked off into the dawn, hand in hand, they knew that their love would last forever. The end.